I started writing music when I was about 16. Moved to London as like a singer-songwriter, essentially, like playing songs with piano and singing along. I started to mess around with electronics and the loop station. That was my first introduction to like drum programming. And I would like download loops off looperman.com and then put them on this little loop station. And like that's how I'd write my songs, you know, and I build them on these 4 like little loop patches that you can have, you know. So my songs were kind of building blocks from the very beginning. I almost think of myself more as an editor. I'll choose that little sample there and flip it on its head and pitch it and put it down an octave and suddenly it becomes that, and you know, and I'm good at being able to visualize how to put a track together. And I really do visualize it. It's weird for me, like I build it with blocks rather than come to it and like I've got a song that I want to make with an intention. I'm like, great, what shall I make today? It's kind of cool. So my impression of a vocoder is, yeah, Kraftwerk, Imogen Heap, Laurie Anderson, all things which I love, but not necessarily in my realm of as an artist or producer. So I was really pleasantly surprised to open it and see so many presets that you can just play. You know, so that was kind of my starting point. It was like picking a few things and figuring out where it would sit in my world. I've been using it as more of a textural kind of element in the songs that I'm using. You know, there's so many amazing glitchy, lo-fi kind of sequence things that you can just throw in to punctuate like a dance track. So that's really what I've been using it as.
I got a few babes. This is a new wave, too many two-faced.
So the vocal is by an artist called Makola, and I have gone in and just completely restructured the vocal they sent me, and I'm using the Arturia vocoder. I'm having a lot of fun using this as like more effects and kind of getting that stereo wideness behind the vocals. Let's go back to this guy. My bit crush is a bit extreme. Back. Because of the tunes that I'm making, a lot of the time it is just beat and a bass and a great hook. It would be probably then, if it really needed it, yes, I would be filling it in with a synth or something. But usually then I just throw a load of effects at it and it kind of comes together like that. I love that sound. I mean, I would never have been able to come up with that sound had it not been for this. New wave, 22 face. New wave. Yeah, just weird sounds. I like that a lot. Usually as a process, I do try and throw the kitchen sink at it, everything, and it is too complex. And then as a challenge to myself, I'm like, how much can I take out of this track and it still has got the right, you know, still doing its job. It is originally a vocal sample that's been processed. And then sometimes what I'd do would be run all that back through the Chaos pad as well, just to glitch it up even further. So that's minimal glitch on its Todd. Sounds pretty raj. It becomes almost like a hi-hat pattern, really. It's kind of cool. What I'd usually do as well, when I've like found a sound like that, just something that's texturally opening it up and just making it a bit more interesting, I'd go in and then automate the effects and things on it just to make the whole thing dynamic and keep moving as the song progresses. Yeah, shove that in the background. You know, and then I'd probably automate that to come up in volume. It's super flexible, so you can just mess around with all the effect settings and just the filter and the cut-off and things, and you can create really, really nice movement in a lot of tracks in that textural kind of information.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There's a lot of freedom for me in not singing on my own records and it just being the role of a producer. In treating those vocals as an instrument, you know, another layer in the track. So it's a lot of me going in and chopping it up, using them as a sample and manipulating them a lot to create something that sticks in your head and goes around your head. It's just instinct, really, and when you see other people listening to it and their reaction, then you know how you're gonna like work on the track more usually from that. Like it's watching other people listen to it and physically react to it, then you're like, okay, cool, I've got to work on this a bit more, or oh yeah, this is, I'm onto something here. You're just trying to nail the right feel and keep it interesting enough that people want to dance to it. Man, too late, back. I don't have a lot of stuff that does interesting things, but for me that's quite freeing because can't get distracted by the other stuff. I'm like, right, this is my sound, this is where I'm at, and like, let me see how far I can stretch this until, you know, I have to buy a new piece of gear or I have to buy a new synth to freshen it up or something. There's so much you can do now just within that one piece of, say, with some amazing plugins and one laptop. One thing I think about the women producers that I've met is that they have had to work so much harder to be seen even on the same level. So actually, say a lot of them are like stealthy little production ninjas because you've had to work so hard to get seen. I've always had one foot in dance music. I've always liked going out as well, and like DJing as an art form has always really fascinated me. So I kind of came at it too. Different angles really, as a vocalist but also as a producer interested in that world and seeing how those tracks are created.